Hello and welcome back. It's Laura from Hyperstamper. I have a new antique junk journal to put in my Etsy shop today. And this one is a very pretty, sweet cover. I just thought it was perfect for a typical antique book from the early 1900s, Uncle Arthur's Bedtime Stories. I love the red. I cleaned out, this gold was just black with goop and dirt, and I think I did a pretty good job bringing the gold back to life. I'm quite pleased. The spine had quite a bit of damage, so I had to mend that, and I covered it up with this piece of vintage doily. And beautiful back cover, and I added these vintage beads, and this is actually a removable vintage bracelet here that you can reuse. And let's take a look inside this little sweetie. Again, everything in here is authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera. I don't use anything fake or commercial or digital. It's all goes back up to about 170 years ago. So this is the original spine of the exterior of the book. And when I had to do the repairs, I saved that. Put it there. A little bit of crochet here. And this is the original, sorry, jump to page here. This is the original first pages of the book. Is that a great plate, the captain of the boat there? This is an authentic 1950s bingo card, which I just find they're so much fun to use and upcycle. Little hidden journaling spot there, really fun cluster. More fun clustery bits here. And then this is a very sweet, it doesn't look like it was ever used, vintage hanky, hand embroidered. I just think it's so sweet. So that's a real treat, that one. Another one of these wonderful plates from a children's book, Storybook. I believe it's from this Storybook, to be honest. And this is just a journaling tag that I made out of all antique ephemera and an antique page made into a journaling card. And then I put this great antique stamp up here because this is a post stamp collector's page. Now this is really cool. It's a vintage collector piece, and these would have been collected, and then you get the little booklet and you glue down the bits that you have. So I just think that is so much fun. So that's kind of special. My sister actually gifted me that little booklet. And here is a 1930s children's book page. I love the orange and blues that they use in these books here. This is an antique book, The Story of Music. Just some really cool illustrations here. And this is a dust cover of a book, and it is vintage, but I thought it was such a beautiful color. The foxing is wonderful. That's an interior spine of this book. And then I just thought it was fun to journal in, and I love everything about it. Let's just put it that way. I love the graphics. I love the fleur-de-lis. Oh, I love it all. More artists here from the National Gallery of London. And then these just really beautiful French paintings. This is an earlier 1920s children's book page, more of a lessons book. And then this is just a little vintage page here from a gardening book. Lots of space to journal on there. When I journal in my journals, I use every bit of white space to journal in. It's really fun. And if I run out of space, I just add more paper and tuck them into the pockets. This is a lovely little 1940s book page. Look at, she's got the leaves here and the daffodils. 1950s receipt here, and another fun little words for what we do and did page from a vintage children's school book. And in here is a wonderful 1920s children's book page, Pandora's Box, and a fuzzy cardstock that I love so much. And I put antique paper on the back for extra journaling. And here is a plate from pre-1910. Just a beautiful historic plate, and you can journal on the back or collage with it, do anything you like with it. I just covered some plain text here with a piece of a children's book page, and that's actually from the Jungle Book from the 50s. And more of these wonderful history book pages. And another, oh, look at that sweet little little girl talking to the squirrel up in the tree from the 30s. And there's another little fold-out page. I didn't want to cut the flag off, so I made it a folder. And here's one of my waterfall journaling pages out of antique paper. And I made a pocket up here. And it's just a really fun page from a teen music magazine. And you'll from the 50s, I believe 1956. And then look at the Maybelline products here. To this day, they're similar. And accordion lessons. And then the words to the songs of the month. So hit parade of country music, I think, was that issue. And then this really cool piece here is from 1926. And again, the ads are just wonderful. And the images, look at the Grace Pops. I love it. Just really, really cool stuff. And you'll have a lot of fun looking at those and playing with those if you do media art. And this is from 1925, Things to Make and Things to Do. Third reader here, this is actually from the 1882. Isn't that wonderful? Little picture there of the boys by their boat. I took that out of antique paper. More vintage children's book pages. And this is from 1937, this wonderful bird plate. The colors and the paper are very high grade. So this would have been, at the time, a very expensive book. And then we've got another children's book page there of horses. And this is one of those fun pieces from that giant graduating class that I was under glass. And I cut it into tags. It was damaged, as this one is a bit. But I just love the hairdos. Love them. So fun. And then this here was handwritten, 1889. That would have been done with a fountain pen or a quill pen. And here is another plate from either the late 1800s or pre-1905, and that is the Garden Gate. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely plate there. Worthy of framing, I would say. This is another 1925, Things to Make and Do. And this is one of those fantastic collectible books from Germany. This one is obviously for things under the sea and fish and amphibians. Wonderful. And the graphics are just to die for. Really, really cool. And this is a window pane journaling box here. And a 1950s Theater Arts Magazine page. And I love that that one's Max Factor, but Max Factor, and there's also a Maybelline in this junk journal. That doesn't happen very often, ever. 1920s, and journaling antique paper on the back. And you can journal here as well. And then that's just a fun little page out of a children's school book. More Things to Make and Do from the 30s. Another book plate here. This one has two book plates from the Bird Book. And this is kind of cool. There's a lot of plates in this book. Look at this one. Isn't that gorgeous? And I just love the aged color on it. That is an unused recipe card. Vintage, naturally stained and aged. And then that brings us to the back of the book. So I hope you love it too. Thanks.